Hey guys, what's up? You know what it is. You are now watching MJFANGIRL TV. And today we are so excited because it's not just me here. I've got 3 other Michael Jackson creators that are going to be here live debating which Michael Jackson tour was the best. Make sure that you guys are also commenting in the chat today. We are going to have a great time, some much needed conversation. And, oh, sorry, my phone started going off. I hope you guys didn't hear that. But yeah, you also have to make sure that you guys are in the chat and contributing to the conversation because we are each representing separate tours. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I just want to see some of what you guys are saying here before I bring in some of my friends. Okay. This is awesome. Hey guys, team. Yeah, hashtag team bad, team dangerous, team victory, team triumph, whatever you want. So we can see what you guys are rooting for. And all right, guys, I think we're ready to start the debate. All right, I'm gonna bring in my first friend. He's awesome. He has one of the most awesome MJ channels around. And representing the Triumph Tour. Hello.
Hello. Is
Hi,
everything
Teddy.
okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, it's perfect.
Sweet. Very scared. Yeah, I'm History in the Mix. Hopefully you've seen my stuff. Musician Jason David, Who Are You Anymore, is out on all streaming platforms. Go listen to it. A Submarine the Taylor podcast, History in the Mix. Let's do this. Team Triumph, okay? I want hashtag Triumph Gang in the chat. Triumph Gang.
You guys heard that. So JD is representing the Triumph Tour. And up next, we have our good friend representing the Victory Tour, MJ Buzz 317.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, MJ Buzz. So, I mean, welcome. I'm so excited to be doing this with you.
Yes, today we're going to be doing the Victory Tour. So with me, it's going to be hashtag Team Victory. Let's go.
Yep, let's go. And next up, representing the Bad Tour. Well, the Bad Tour, it's you guys. You guys will have to be commenting and giving your input for the Bad Tour because I know that we have so many Bad Tour fans in the chat. So leave your information. I mean, not your information, but your input in the chat. And we'll be highlighting some comments later. But without further ado, on to my good friend representing the Dangerous Tour. We got Miranda the Moonwalker.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miranda. I'm repping the Dangerous Tour, so hashtag Dangerous Squad.
Hashtag Dangerous Squad. I like that. That's mad creative.
Triumph Gang versus Dangerous Squad. Here we go.
All right, the last person. Well, I'm already up here, but I'll reintroduce myself. My name
is MJFANGIRL Blog.
Yeah! My name is MJFANGIRL, and I'm going to be debating for the History Tour. So let's get it going. We're actually going to be going today in chronological order. Each of our Michael Jackson creators here on YouTube, we each have channels, by the way. So after you finish watching the debate, go and visit all of these guys' channels and subscribe. But we're going to go in chronological order, and we're each going to have about 2 minutes. I'm going to set a timer. And we're going to start with the Triumph Tour. So let's get it going.
Are we ready?
Yep. Whenever you are, I'll press the button.
Okay. So this is set list, right? I'm supposed to be talking set list?
Yeah, it's set list. It's like whatever points in general you want to bring up about the tour in the beginning.
Okay. So this is Triumph. This is Michael's first tour since Off the Wall has been released. 1981. So it's been a few years since Off the Wall. The set list, the usual set list is Can You Feel It? Things I Do For You, Off the Wall, Been, and then there was Walk Right Now that got cut eventually. This Place Hotel, She's Out of My Life, the interlude movie rap, I Want You Back /ABC / Love You Save, which is a medley that would stay with Michael for a while. Rock With You, Lovely One, Working Day and Night, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and then it would usually end on Shake Your Body Down to the Ground. This is just going off of the live album, I think. I don't know if that's every night, but that's about a general perception on how the set list went. Time.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So awesome, you guys. Again, you guys can comment in with some anything you want to say in regards to his argument. But next up, we are going on to MJ
Victory.
Bob's, yes, Victory Tour. Let's go.
Okay, guys. So before I even talk about the set list, I'm going to start with just, this was the first concert that Pepsi sponsored. You know, this was his first major big tour as the Jacksons. At this point, he wasn't known as Little Michael anymore. Everybody known him as Michael Jackson. You know, you had the Billie Jean. This is the first concert with the Jumbotron. They finally stopped singing "Being" and they replaced it with "Human Nature." And then the intro is classic with the sword and the stone and how they step down each step. That would be something that if I got to see that concert, I would never forget. And so the set list is "Wanna Be Starting Something," "Things I Do for You," "Off the Wall," "Human Nature," "This Place Hotel," "She's Out of My Life." Then you get a little Jermaine, "Let's Get Serious," "Dynamite," "Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming." Then the J5 records, "I Want You Back," "The Love You Save," "I'll Be There," "Rock With You," "Lovely One," "Working Day and Night," "Beat It," Billie Jean, and they end with "Shake Your Body Down to the Ground." And then also his outfits. Those aren't the most classic, most heat Michael outfits of all time. So that's my time. Team Victory.
Team Victory. Pretty strong arguments there, I would say. Now let's let Miranda go and do the Dangerous Tour, and then I'll do history, and then we'll come back to you guys for bad. So Miranda, are you ready?
Yep. All right.
Okay.
So I have two main arguments why the Dangerous Tour is the best, and that is because he pretty much performed all of his biggest hits from each of the prior eras. Dangerous Tour, the Dangerous era was like the peak of Michael's career, along with the Dangerous album. But on the tour, he not only performed songs from Dangerous, but from all of the prior eras, aside from the Jacksons era. The set list for the Dangerous Tour started out with Jam, went into "Wanna Be Starting Something," "Human Nature," "Smooth Criminal," "I Just Can't Stop Loving You," "She's Out of My Life," "I Want You Back," and that was like a medley of Jackson 5 songs. "Thriller," "Billie Jean," "Working Day and Night," "Beat It," "Someone Put Your Hand Out," which is awesome, "Will You Be There," "Black or White," "Heal the World," and "Man in the Mirror." The Man in the Mirror performance was obviously iconic. And my other reason why Dangerous Tour reigns is because it is the smallest number of concerts, considering a lot of the dates got canceled and it ended early. It drew in almost as many fans as the Bad Tour and the History Tour, and it was a lot smaller time.
Awesome. Thank you, Miranda. Okay. Remember, you guys can be putting your input into anything that any of us have said. And now I'm going to go on to the History Tour. So you guys, let me set the stage. Fall 1996 to fall 1997, 2 legs, 5 continents, okay? 80 plus shows. You got the only tour to include songs from all 5 Michael Jackson solo albums on Epic at the time. So that means songs from Off the Wall, Thriller. You got songs from Bad, Dangerous, and History, of course. I mean, you even got Blood on the Dance Floor in some shows. We're not even gonna go there. And then you got the Epic Spacesuit, okay? And some may know very well, this is the most talked about costume of all time. The gold outfit, or to some people, the gold pants, filmed in HD, okay? History Tour. It is very precise in its choreography, and it made the most money, and Michael Jackson got to see the most fans around the world. So I think the History Tour is just the best tour, hands down. Team History.
Just a little bit of lip syncing, just a little bit of,
just very little bit.
Okay.
barely any.
Yeah, okay, but Michael Jackson's an entertainer, so, he didn't have to live sing every show.
I'm going to get killed in the chat for that. It was just a joke, everybody in the chat.
No,
for legal purposes, it was a joke.
Allegedly.
if we're going with his #1 tours though, history can't even be compared.
But why not?
Like just for that lip syncing alone.
Okay, but my question is this. Did people even realize that he was lip syncing when he was there, when they were there? You know, because I want to know, does it really matter if an artist lip syncs? Because I've been to concerts, not Michael Jackson, where he lip synced, and I felt like the energy was still there, regardless of if it was live or not.
That's a big question. That's a very big question.
Okay,
I don't even know how to answer that.
Not to get off a subject, but I saw Chris Brown. He lip sang a lot. Definitely brought it down. Whereas when I saw Cisco, everybody was hype and he was still singing. It's the old school performers. That's
Listen, MJ Fangirl, I 100% agree with you. I saw Janet on tour last year, and I know personally that it would be impossible to do those kinds of dances and performances while actually singing.
Right? I feel like we have to talk about more things than just the lip syncing. So let's actually go to the chat real quick because I want to have this to be interactive. Let's hear what everybody has to say about just the various tours. We're supposed to be having them represent the Bad Tour, but I see lots of comments here. So let's go and see what people are saying. All right, here we go. This comment from Memento Mortem says, Bad holds some of the most rarely repeated songs on tour, like Dirty Diana and Bad itself, on top of being one of the few times you have the perfect blend with Michael's favorite Jackson songs mixed in. Any comments to that, you guys?
My comments to that is, I am not the hugest Michael or J5 fan when J5 is not there.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
I don't know if my dislike for the Bad Tour has came from the community standing it so much. But I mean, I'm not going to stay here and say it's not a good tour. I mean, it is a good tour, but is it the best? That's the question we're going to answer before tonight's over.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. I'm going to pick out a couple other comments that are coming out. Let's see here. Kim says, Bad Tour, #Bad Tour. I feel like Michael was really in his prime with the Bad Tour because it was after the amazing Thriller album, and many people wanted a tour from him. I feel like this tour was incredible. What do you guys think? Because I tend to feel like, yeah, I kind of agree. Like right after Thriller, people really wanted that Michael Jackson again.
Was that not Victory? How is it? Was the whole Thriller thing not Victory?
Right.
I'm not trying. Is that not right?
Okay, so Victory is pretty much the Thriller tour.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Bad, Bad was really good, but when it comes to like I said, when it comes to the costumes and then the J5 songs alone, saying blow it out of the water. When Jermaine is there, something about Jermaine doing those backgrounds when he's not there, even with Triumph, since Jermaine is not there, it seems a little bit weaker, like when they do those J5 songs. Now, Heartbreak Hotel, you don't hear that. You still hear the full thing, but as soon as they sing I'll Be There or something like that, don't hit the same.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna agree with that. I feel like the Jacksons bring an extra you know what? Actually, but I can't do that because I'm rooting for History Tour, so no. I forgot my position.
Disqualified.
I know, right? Okay, let me pull up one more comment real quick for Bad, and then we're gonna go into our each categories that we discussed that we're gonna talk about. For all you guys in the chat, thank you guys so much. You guys are 222 people strong.
Ooh,
that's
sweet.
amazing. So make sure that you are giving us a big thumbs up because YouTube loves engagement. Thumbs the video up, please. Okay, so here is the last comment that I'm going to pull up for now for the Bad Tour. And Media Critic said, Bad is really fast-paced. It is. And I love fast-paced, and I feel like a lot of energy and vocals were amazing, and the show itself was really pumped up.
This is Landon. I know Landon. Media Critic. It is really fast paced. I mean, I can't argue that.
I have a side note question. Are we talking about Bad the first leg or Bad the second leg? Those are really two different concerts.
True. Guys,
hopefully, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say maybe differentiate in the comments if you can. Go ahead,
Yeah.
MJ Buzz.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like the vibes are just way totally different for those concerts. I feel like the first leg is like Michael, by himself for the first time, but he's kind of like filling it out. But that second leg, that magic starts to hit with those extra songs, Another Part of Me, certain things like that. So I just want to know which leg we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. So when you guys are putting in the comments, make sure you're doing that as well. Somebody said bad the whole thing, so shout out to him. Okay.
That's the whole thing.
All right. So now we're going to get into some very detailed categories. I think it's important to talk about different angles and elements of each tour. So we each have prepared some information about like set list and intro and costumes. And I think we should go into intro because let's talk about how Michael Jackson appeared on stage in each of these tours. So whoever wants to go first, go for it.
I'll start, you guys.
Okay.
So for the Dangerous tour, Michael came out with Jam, but during the Dangerous tour, it was a lot like his Super Bowl performance. If you guys had seen that, he came out with a long stare and the audience just goes completely nuts. This is specifically the Dangerous Live in Bucharest, but yeah, Jam was the intro and just the audience, you could just tell they were just so emotional, going nuts, screaming, fainting, lots of faints during the Dangerous tour.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead though, and I'm going to say that History Tour had the best intro, and I'm going to just paint this picture here, okay? And imagine that you guys are in the audience, right? You've been standing up for like 12 hours, no bathroom breaks, no food break, no water, and you're waiting for Michael Jackson to come out. And then the big screen comes on, and then you're on a roller coaster ride. You don't know where you're going, but you are on a roller coaster ride. You are going through all types of history. You've got like different moments in history. You've got quotes from people. You're going around different buildings. You see Michael Jackson from the Jackson 5, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next? Michael comes out in his helmet, and he's like, what's my ETA? Where am I going? Or whatever he says. You guys know the part. And what I've heard now, I tapped a friend who said that he has actually been to the History Tour, and the most exciting thing was waiting because you did not know what was going to happen next. You didn't know when the roller coaster ride was going to end. You didn't know when Michael was coming out, and that anticipation makes it the best intro ever. You have him coming up in the all chrome outfit, and I just think it simply can't be beat.
You guys have both, Miranda and Fangirl, you guys both have excellent points, but it all brings me back to Victory Tour where all that stuff started. So it started out with, imagine where, you don't even know what to expect from Michael because all you've seen is Motown 25 and some videos, so there's all of this stuff. You don't even know what to expect. You get there and this is the biggest production you have ever seen. There's nothing ever could come close to anything like this. Like I said, this is the first time that there was a Jumbotron in concerts. Before people were coming with binoculars, but Michael made sure everybody saw the show. And so it starts out with, they're pulling out the sword of the stone, and then finally somebody could get it. And then Michael, says, yeah, he has some little speech. I can't remember. Then the lights go out, and then you see all the things flickering in the crowd, warring. And then the lights go up and then they come down. And not only is Michael there, it's just him and all of his brothers. And for some reason, that magic with all of them it just can't be beat. When he's not there and it's just them, it's not the same. But when they're all in sync, oh my God. And then when they come down the stairs, just one by one with each light, like almost like a Billie Jean situation. The first time they took the glasses off the stair. I mean, it was all so fresh. So, Victory.
Okay. Anything, JD?
I just want to compliment how well you hyped me up for the History Tour, even though I'm not even watching it.
Right.
Thank you.
So I'll go. Mine's Triumph again. Triumph Gang. # Triumph Gang. We're going in. I'm going off of the Los Angeles 1981 show because there's not a lot of footage to go off of. that you can see. A lot of them look like VHSs that have rotted in garages for years. But you begin with darkness. You know, there's not really a big explosion, but a man dressed as a knight comes out with a gigantic candle with big flames and runs across the stage. He then shouts, "Can you feel it?" to the audience. And then that segues into, "Can you feel it?" And then the lights blast on, and then there are all the Jacksons at once. There was no like 1, 2, 3. It was all of them at once. So you had to take it all in. And then they pause for a little bit, but they don't do the whole Dangerous tour standstill. They just rock out to "Can You Feel It?" and go straight into it. But you immediately see Michael in the Rock With You-esque sparkly jumpsuit kind of thing. And so just seeing that, you know, because Rock With You would have just came out on MTV or wherever very quick after that, kind of, because it's around the time of Off the Wall. So to see Michael in all of his glory, and then the brothers too, all at once, you're taking the song in, you're taking all of it in at once. And that's why I think it's the best intro.
Yeah, I think those are all some great points. You know, let's see if anybody in the chat has anything to say about the introductions, because I think everybody has different tastes when it comes to this. Let's see.
I have something to say real quick. If I could.
Yeah.
So this is all very, you know, it's the first time we're doing it. The phone I'm doing this on is about to die, so I'm going to need to leave real quick and switch out, and I'll be right back. Is that okay?
Yes.
So we're trying this out. It's a brand new thing. I'll be right back. I'm still listening.
Okay.
This is so scary. I'm so scared.
It's okay. Don't worry. We're taking comments from the people in the chat right now. This is for you, Miranda, here. Someone says, "Jam intro is so powerful and evokes such excitement. He has power straight from the gate, and I don't know if the other tours beat that. Also, his standing still with the glasses is so iconic."
I totally agree, Jalen. The best tour of all time. Best intro ever.
That's cool.
Okay. Here's, let's see. Let me look. Okay. The Flaming Gamer says, "Victory has a great intro. Of all the brothers, the one started it all, makes it a surreal moment."
Yes, definitely agree.
And I'm going to put up now this Bad Tour comment from Frank the Robot. "Bad Tour had a sick moonwalk intro that played around the stadium that energized the crowd. Once he does the toe stand and the audience goes nuts. Out of the smoke, MJ appears and sings 'Wanna Be Starting Something Beastly.'" So I think that is very true. I think I remember on the Wembley show, it showed like the thing where Michael's walking with the shoes and it goes ka-choo, 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 right? And then it's like,
yeah, Mike just kept bringing the heat every time, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. He really did. And let's get some more comments about the Bad Tour, because I want you guys to really be able to participate in this. We got 231 MJ fam in the building right now. Again, to remind you who we have here, we have JD with Triumph Tour, who he just left, and he'll be right back. But we got MJ Buzz 317. Say hey.
Hey.
He is representing the Victory Tour. And we got Miranda the Moonwalker. Say hi.
Hey.
And she's repping the Dangerous Tour. And make sure that you're putting in your hashtags of who you're, what tour you're rooting for here. I'm still trying to get the comments just to let you guys know. I have my YouTube open as well as StreamYard, and that's the platform we are using. And sometimes the comments come up a little bit slower. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see. All right. Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh yeah. Team Dangerous all the way.
Hey.
And then Louis Skilling says, "I preferred the first leg of History where Scream was the first song. I think it was underrated live, especially as he sang Janet's bit, which isn't heard anywhere else." Hashtag History Tour.
I'll give you that. I did enjoy that.
Right.
Okay, welcome back, JD.
Hello, we're still here. Hopefully I won't have to leave again. I shouldn't have to leave again, but who knows?
We want you to stay. Okay.
Let's stay.
Go. Yes. All right, so let's go into what I think a lot of people don't really talk about, but I think it needs to be discussed. Okay, let's go into costumes. Let's just go into costumes. Anything you want to talk about is game. Whoever wants to go first. Otherwise, I could go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
that tour, we had the army outfits, and it was the beginning of the army and all the bling, which I really think this tour specifically, a little bit of bad, but specifically this tour, especially in the fashion community today and the music community, you definitely see a lot. I see Offset trying to look like the Victory Tour all the time, whoever. So I definitely see this one's the most inspiring. And when you think of Mike, the most of the time, this is the time you think about, you think about the glove, the shoe, the socks, the Billie Jean hat, the Beat It jacket that came from that era, the inside the inside Beat It shirt, the blue and like Pepsi symbol looking thing in there. So yeah, his hair was on point. The striped pants that they had, all the Jacksons. Shoot.
Okay, well, I am going to have to say, I get your points, but I'm going to have to respectfully disagree because I personally think, and not only me, because I don't want this to be, all my opinions, Michael Bush, who designed the costumes with Dennis Tompkins for his entire career, starting from Captain EO, said the most talked about costume. No, where did JD go? The most talked about costume was the History Tour chrome metal suit. And okay. I'm gonna tell you guys, okay, Michael Jackson, he wanted, this costume was inspired by the robot from Dancing Machine. I think it's awesome. It's a nod to his roots. If you guys remember the Dancing Machine robot, it kind of looked exactly like the History spacesuit. He had a custom chest plate chrome, a custom helmet that was specially fitted to his head. And what was also crazy about this was Michael Bush shared in his book, King of Style, that Michael Jackson needed a shoehorn to put the helmet on before every show. And if not, that's not dedication. I don't know what is.
Quick question. Working Day and Night was on every tour that we're talking about? I don't think it was on History. It was not on yours.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I think that they had so many other songs to fill it up that we just didn't need Working Day and Night on History.
Definitely was a lot of songs on History. I was going to ask which was your favorite Working Day and Night outfit?
Oh, okay. You know what? I can't answer that. I can't answer that because I'm rooting for the History Tour today. So okay. I'm out of character if I answer. So anybody else want to talk about costumes? Even though the History Tour had like pretty much the best costumes, and we're not even going to mention the gold of it all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We are going to talk about some other costumes because I think it's fair to discuss.
Is that gold suit more talked about than the Billie Jean outfit?
Amongst the female fans.
Definitely, my goodness. I had to block a few of them.
All right, here's why the Dangerous Tour costumes were the best. First off, over $3 million were spent on the Dangerous Tour outfits, okay? That's a lot of money. That is way more money than I even have in my bank, just on the outfits alone. And my favorite thing about the Dangerous Tour outfits were, while he was wearing like the leotards most of the time, which I'm not like the biggest fan of the leotards. I mean, I love them. I love the leotards, you guys. But the thing that I really like about the Dangerous Tour is he stayed true to like all of the iconic music video looks, spicing up the costumes with the original jackets. He had the original Smooth Criminal look, the original Billie Jean look, the original Beat It look, the original Thriller look, but white. That was really cool and smooth looking. And anyway, like the costumes were just superior because they reminded us of the iconic music videos.
Good points, Miranda. Does anybody else? Oh yeah, JD, go for it.
I'll try not to leave again. I don't know how many times. Okay, so I'm going off Los Angeles 1981 again. Because that's like the only show that we can watch that's not recorded by a potato. There were no costume changes. Michael stayed in the Rock With You Like outfit the whole time. It continues to coincide with every song beautifully, though, even though he doesn't change outfits. I read that Michael was very inspired by the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert, so that's what kind of inspired some of the outfits, because everybody had their own style. Jackie and Jermaine and everybody. We saw a bunch of different styles on other shows, though. So just because there were no costume changes on a certain show, different stops had different outfits. So Don't Stop Till You Get Enough esque suit was there. And this was also kind of the debut of the single white glove, which is a pretty big deal. And that's it. That's time. That's time for me.
That's a good point with that glove, JD.
Yeah, I agree. That is a good point.
Right.
I'm gonna highlight some comments from the interactive chat room here. Let's talk about the Bad Tour costumes, you guys. Somebody says, okay, this is a good point. Bad Tour is so freaking great when it comes to the outfits because they're just so magical. The Bad Tour outfit to the glowing up Thriller jacket, the leg belt is also incredible. It's amazing. I will say that I think that the Bad Tour was very like iconic and on brand with like his whole bad thing with the buckles and like the zippers and stuff. I think it was very like thematic. Okay.
I want to say hi to Jacob Piccini. I know him, who's on the screen right now. Hello,
hey!
hello, Jacob. Thank you for watching.
That's
Thank you for
awesome.
watching.
I love it when friends are in the chat.
I've known.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
I want to hear you guys from some people really quickly who have been to the tours. Have you been to a Michael Jackson tour? Have you been to the Bad Tour? Can you please put it in the comments? Because we want to highlight it from you guys that have been there. We really want this to be a fair fight. And, I think it's important to have people that were actually there feeling those vibes. Okay. Sorry. Somebody says, okay. Nick said, I went to the Victory Tour and the Bad Tour.
Hey.
Lucky.
Right.
So lucky, yes. Sorry, go ahead. I'm waiting because it takes a while for them to come in on this end, you guys, but I'm not going to move on until we can find you guys who have been there. But shout out to the MJ Cupboard. I don't know if he's in the chat right now, but the MJ Cupboard is the one who I spoke to about the history tour, because he went to those. And I believe he went to some other shows as well. Very, very cool. Again, history tour, if I might add, is the only time that Michael Jackson visited 5 continents. He did 80 shows, which is like pretty much double a lot of his other tours. So just saying, a lot of fans got a chance to see him, which is also why I think it's great.
Yeah, you said it took a lot of effort for him to get that helmet on.
Yes, shoehorn every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot of effort. Yeah, the Victory Tour, he did that whole tour dang near for free, though. That's a lot of effort, too.
Okay. You know what? Hey, let's check out Nationally. You know what? I'm not even going to say nothing because, yeah. Bad, Dangerous, and History ×2. The MJ Cupboard. Okay, Mashley, a.k.a. the MJ Cupboard, which y'all should go follow him on Instagram because he has cool collectors collection. Which one was the best to you? I'm just so curious. Which one was the best energy-wise? Come back. I'm going to come back to you. I see Brendan Shepard says, I've been to the Bad Tour in Brisbane in 1987. He was very energetic, but I felt left out because after all that, other countries got better songs. But then in 93, I went to Royal concert. And then in 96, I went to the Royal Brunei concert, I guess, in 96. Cool. We would love to know.
Awesome.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that obviously he went through that first leg on the 87 because he didn't get Man in the Mirror, probably Another Part of Me, Smooth Criminal, Dirty Diana.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really interesting to hear from you guys who have been to the shows and stuff. Here's another comment. This is from Bia Priya Yoga, who teaches Michael Jackson yoga. Hey. She says, Bad Tour, crazy energy, live amazing vocals, set list, audience madness, dance moves on point, bound with the whole team, sexiness to the max, outfit, first solo tour, and the list goes on. Yes, girl. I gotta say, I see you guys' comments, and you guys are coming with some really good information and really good arguments for the bad tour. So we appreciate that. Okay, here we go. Okay, Rachel S. Rachel's mom went to the Victory, Bad, and History tours, and she said that History was her favorite because she felt that he really mastered his craft by then. He was always improving. And yes, I agree, Rachel. Thank you to your mom.
Good point.
Michael Jackson was the most polished by then, and a lot of people say that he looked like he was going through the motions or robotic. I've heard those counter arguments, but I'm gonna have to say that I just thought that Michael Jackson knew what he was doing. He knew what it was all about. And thank you for the super chat, Smick Productions. He sent $4.99 super chat. Thank you.
That's my boy too.
Yes, thank you so much. He sends his support out for the bad tour right now. So let's see if we have
Did
any
he
other.
say bad? I think he misspelled triumph.
Oh gosh, he's okay. I'm gonna pick another few comments from people who actually attended, and then we'll go back into our list of categories. What do you guys think?
Sounds good.
Okay, my uncle went to the History tour and said it was one of the most magical performances ever. Okay, here we go. My mom's cousin went to the Victory tour, and my mom's cousin loved it, and she also went to the Bad tour in Kansas City. Nice.
I know that guy too.
Oh my gosh, I would probably also cry. Jalen says her dad went to Victory but had to wait 8 hours for tickets. He said he cried. I would also cry from just like overload of emotion. I'm waiting for Mashley to come back and tell us his experience and which one he liked the best. If you guys see his comment, I don't see it yet. But if I don't see it, I will come back to it later. I think we want to move on and go back into our categories. So here we go. Here he is. MJ Cupboard. Hey guys, MJ Cupboard here. For me, the bad era was MJ Mania Chaos. Dangerous was hardworking, targeted excitement, and History was a masterclass in superstardom and professionalism. There we have it. He attended 3 different tours, and this is his take. So thank you for that.
Triumph and Victory exist too.
Right.
Yes, I think there's something to be said about those awesome tours. Let's go back into our category list. Thank you guys for the participation in the chat. Let's go back to the categories, you guys. Let's go into one of the most important things, one of the most important points out of any show ever. Vocals. Vocals. Anybody want to go? Because I know I'm about to get attacked.
Same.
I just watched it seemed like Michael's voice changed a little bit, and it's a difference, not so much in Off the Wall and Thriller, but a little bit in Thriller and Bad. And I think it's because he did a lot of more grunting and stuff like that. And when you sing like that a lot, your voice gets a little bit more raspier. So songs like Human Nature, it seemed like it was way sweeter on the Victory tour. That one was one of my favorite ones of all time. I like his ballads when he was around that Victory.
Okay. That's a good point. Anybody else want to chime in on vocals?
Well, so for the Dangerous tour, it's said that a good bit of it is pre-recorded, and not all of it is pre-recorded, but obviously, as we mentioned before, the songs that require like the high energy dancing, it's obviously going to be pre-recorded. It's impossible to do those kind of dance moves and those kind of, performances without it being pre-recorded. Now, not every song on the Dangerous tour was pre-recorded. Obviously, he still performed the ballads live and everything like that. But the fact that some of those songs were pre-recorded made it so that he could do the showmanship aspect and do those performances and dances and stuff like that. So I think it's a good thing that some of those higher energy songs were pre-recorded.
I'm going to piggyback off of that because I feel like History Tour, you know, we also get a bad rap for some pre-recorded vocals. I'm not going to use the LS word, but you guys know it is said that Michael Jackson allegedly was LSing a lot of the History Tour. But I'm going to say this, okay? I am going to take in the comments from some of the people in the chat that went and to expand on Miranda with the Dangerous Tour. Like Michael knew, you know, maybe if he sang live, he might have to sacrifice some of those dance moves and perfecting some of the energy that he was giving out. And I think that we all know Michael Jackson could have still sung live if he wanted to, but for some reason he made that decision. And I think that if it takes Michael Jackson pre-recording some of those songs to sound live, even though he wasn't singing live, in order to be able to reach 5 continents, 50-something countries, and 80-plus shows. I believe it was 82 shows. And Michael Jackson actually sold his millionth ticket to a Michael Jackson show during the History Tour. And so, therefore, I think we just can't take away from it. And although the vocals may not be live on every song, Jackson 5 medley was still live. And I believe Wanna Be Starting Something was as well.
I don't think me and JD can relate to this lip singing thing you guys are talking about.
I think he sounded great. I think he sounded just like the record.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
my turn.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so vocals on Triumph. It's early 80s Michael Jackson. I don't have to tell you all how heavenly that is, but I'm going to try anyway. You hear a Michael voice that was never heard again after this tour. Thriller and Off the Wall, I would say different vocal styles because you have a more grown-up Michael on Thriller. It's pure, it's young, it's unadulterated. It's just a talented man that you could argue was at his peak vocally. You can tell Michael and the rest of the Jacksons were on top of their game every stop. There was this power and intensity, the same we heard on Off the Wall, and we never heard again. So it was nice to hear it again. Thank you. That's my time.
What? I'm trying to figure out what power from Off the Wall did we never hear again. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I see all the audio's coming back every once in a while. Like I'm hearing cuts, so I'm trying to hear what y'all are saying. So I don't.
All I could say is
I can hear y'all. I can hear you.
All I could say is this. I think in the previous tours, Michael Jackson was energetic, but like I also think that there was a difference in what he was able to do on the History Tour because of pre-recorded vocals, and he had a lot more leeway to do a lot of different things because of that choice. So I'm gonna just have to back Michael on that choice. Let's go to the chat. I think we've all weighed in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check it out. Let's see. Okay. Somebody says, even though History had some lip syncing, it was amazing. The energy was off the wall. Someone says, Victory Human Nature was very different than Bad Human Nature and Dangerous Human Nature. If Victory Human Nature was not as beautiful and natural compared to Bad and Dangerous.
Whoa.
Any comments to that?
You know what? I'm going to just let her have that one.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the Bad Tour. Okay, someone says that Michael is innocent.
Where are the Triumph Tour comments?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I see a lot of
like I'm out here on a limb for Triumph Tour.
Well, you know what, JD? Even Michael skipped the Triumph Tour in the Jacksons and American Dream movie.
Oh, dang.
Skipped right over that.
Dang, I'm gonna have to say he did.
I'm trying. We still got it, Triumph Gang. The 2 people watching that are Triumph Gang. We got this.
Oh, I'm looking through the chat, you guys, to see what else people are saying.
I see a lot of Victory on this end. I don't know if you're seeing them on your end.
Okay, let's see. How about this one from Briscoe Kyler? Victory Tour is his best vocally, especially Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming.
Yeah, he came in and saved Jermaine on that one.
Yeah. I won't comment because I gotta stay in my character.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Here's with how fast Michael had the BPM on a lot of the songs on Bad Tour for his vocals to be on point as they were. Amazing. And when he did slow it down for Human Nature, it showed out best. Okay. Let's go. And we're trying to get some Bad Tour information. Bad Tour input. But I do see this one that was really cool from Cody Davis. He says the Victory Tour was definitely one of his best vocal performances. Human Nature, Off the Wall, Billie Jean, Rock With You, greatness. Especially on the night they were in Toronto in 1984. GOAT.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to pick out one more comment from the audience, and then we're going to go into our next category. Also, you guys, let us know, are you guys enjoying this debate? Is this something that you'd like to see more? I think I'm having fun. What about you guys?
Most definitely.
Right. Having a blast.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Someone says the best vocals were Bad Tour in Japan. He was singing it 100% live. Let's see.
He was on Triumph too. It was 100% live on Triumph too.
Hey,
It still exists, guys.
There's no moonwalk on Triumph.
Dang. Somebody said, there was no lip syncing on Bad Tour. It just adds to the magic knowing that every note was coming from him. Ephraim says, history is not his best. He wasn't groovy. No meow. He just became weak.
Hey, I have a rebuttal to the last one.
Okay.
I think Michael was lip syncing in the beginning of Man in the Mirror.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw that one out there.
Too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Smooth Criminal too. Yeah, he needed a break. It was much due, but
right. Also, it was still him singing, you guys. Even if it was pre-recorded, it was still him.
Yeah,
Yeah, true. All right, okay. Thank you. Cupcake 101 says she's enjoying this a lot, or Cupcake 101 says enjoying this a lot. You guys rock.
Hey, thank you.
I love you, Cupcake. Thank you for your support always.
That's something a Triumph Gang person would say.
Look like Team Victory to me.
Okay, so let's do
Cupcake 101 is Triumph Gang. She's honorary Triumph Gang.
We gotta find JD a comment out there. Somebody make something up.
Okay, here we go. Boba Fett Archive says, "I'm with you, Triumph."
There we go.
I'm with you. Thank God.
There we go.
Boba Fett Archives. We stand. Star Wars fans in the comment section. Triumph Tour all the way. Here we go.
I also see a really interesting comment here, which I think definitely this is worth talking about, JD. Andrea says, in my opinion, I think Triumph had the best live album out of all the live albums that Jackson's had. And this is actually the only Michael Jackson
Indeed
live
it does.
album.
Indeed it does.
Yeah, well,
right?
Victory doesn't have one. And I don't know why the state is taking so long on that one. That's a gold mine.
Yeah. I think it's really cool, the Jackson's live album. Okay, getting out of character 1 second. If you have not heard it, you must go hear it. And then, all right, Chloe says, I love this. Thank you, Chloe. We are going to go into our next category, which is, where are we at? We're going to go into overall performance and dance. We kind of touched on this, so if you guys are over it, just let me know and we can move on to production, but go for it. Anybody want to chime in, or you guys think we kind of covered this already?
I'm just going to say this.
I could go first. Mine's pretty short.
Go ahead, JD.
Okay, I don't mean to talk over you. I'm trying to hear as good as I can. Production, magician Doug Henning did original magic tricks for this show, and this was breaking the mold of what concerts were so early in the 80s. For instance, on Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Michael would disappear into smoke and appear on the other side of the stage for Shake Your Body, which was cool. But that's about it when it comes to production and magic tricks, because this was a concert. This was instruments. This was bass. This was guitar. This was drums. They focused a lot more on music for the concert rather than the whole popping out of the toaster oven spectacle. It was more of a show than a spectacle. That's what I have written in my notes. And that's it. That's it for me.
So we're doing production, not dance moves.
We could go back to dance moves. He just mentioned production, so I'll go back to dance.
Oh, well, I can just kind of put it in one. The dance moves, you get the Billie Jean, for the first time, and then I don't know if he worked on it over the summer, but it's definitely a difference between that moonwalk and the one on Motown 25. And it seemed like on every tour, like Michael had like some new move. I'm not going to get into the other ones, but on the Victory Tour, Michael had like some new move that he was working on all the time, and it was definitely the moonwalk on that one. And like the Billie Jean or the Beat It as well. The guy, when he does that little hit move, for some reason nobody can ever hit that right with him. But his brother Marlon, he tore that up. He definitely tore that up. In production, I mean, it was like it was his first big production one. So like I said, the sword, and they had a whole like little theme story before it even started. Them walking down slowly. It was the first time he let it simmer. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely was starting to become the king of pop, if he wasn't already.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm gonna get into production and mention some of like the stage and all that. Like, I've heard that Michael Jackson, for the History Tour, went through a lot to try to capture some of the meanings behind some of the songs. So like for Earth Song, he brought the tank on. He had the cherry picker up. I believe it was twice. I might be wrong, but I think he was up there twice for Earth Song and Beat It.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also think in terms of production, I thought that Michael Jackson's, you could feel like his energy a lot more in the History Tour. Also because he would take breaks when he was doing like the costume changes, and he would like talk to the audience, joke around, talk about, killing bugs or how you guys doing, make a little joke, drink his orange Gatorade, change the jacket, and move on. And I thought that was really, really cool.
Right.
Anybody want to chime in?
Yeah, for the Dangerous Era tour, the dynamic that he had like with the dancers and with the crew and everything was just so evident. He was just really connected to those who were also on stage. Sita Garrett was there to perform not only the entire backup, but her duet, I Just Can't Stop Loving You, which is actually like iconic in my opinion. But the overall production of the show was great. It was great lighting and great pyro. And like as I mentioned before, just the costuming was awesome. And there were awesome magic tricks, you guys, like when he disappeared from under that chair and like came up with like the different costume on. It's just like some iconic moments in the Dangerous Tour. And you guys, the set took 3 days to set up. So it was iconic and ahead of its time.
There is something to say about that. It did have one of the biggest stages, true. Let's go to the chat, you guys. I feel
like every time Michael went in for a concert, he went to the drawing board and was like, okay, how can we make this better than history was? I feel like he always started at history.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Going into the chats. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. Bad Tour was the best overall performance / dance because it was simply energetic and he was so happy and feeling himself a lot more. No bizarre problems. It's kind of like a sequel of the Victory Tour. Since you have the Victory Tour, how do you feel about that?
That Bad Tour is a sequel. Yeah, that's kind of like what I just said. I feel like he really, because I feel like that was the drawing board, the beginning Victory Tour, and everything escalated after that, you know what I'm saying, with the magical intro. So I definitely agree with that. Yeah, it's definitely a difference between Victory and Triumph, you know what I'm saying, but it's very minor differences in all the other ones.
Okay, and we've got a Triumph comment in here. Slick T says, the Triumph Tour was great without all the production, just great singing, dancing, and musicianship. JD, any comments to that?
Yes. What a king. We stand Slick T. I agree, 100%.
I'm loving the interaction. Here we got a super chat from One Glove Entertainment. Thank you. Shout out to him. He says, this is such a beautiful experience. Despite our differing opinions, we are here for the same person. We are all one right now. LOVE, One Glove Entertainment.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. I tried to, it's hard to put the super chat on the screen. I wanted to, but I cannot seem to. Oh, here we go. Okay, that's for his comment. And I think this is really cool. It's really nice to have these debates where we could talk about Michael Jackson and disagree, like he said, but we're all bringing up great points, and it's a great way to remember him and what he accomplished, for sure. Okay, so anybody want to go? Okay, one more person. Okay. Yeah, but history, I had to bring this up. I'm sorry, guys. Jonathan, shout out to you. He said, but history had some of the best production with the rocket coming out of the stadium and the history statue at both ends of the stadium. Yes, true to that. Should we go into production? Did you guys get your points across already? Anything else we wanted to mention? Or should we go on to the next category, you guys? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think I hit production.
Yeah? Okay, so we're going to go on to the next category. And that is going to be, I'm like loving this. This is so fun, you guys, by the way. Ticket sales and earnings. Let's talk about that. Money, 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 money. So I can start. I am going to go and I'm going to talk about the history tour, because the history tour actually served 4.5 million fans worldwide. Again, I'm going to say 5 continents because, I got to keep putting that in there. But it made $258 million in 2019 money. I adjusted this for inflation, just for accuracy. But history tour had 2 legs. Okay, and the second leg became the biggest selling tour of 1997 with 40 shows, and it was seen by 2 million people. What other artist can go into a stadium and do shows in front of that many people? I think that's iconic. And, I think sometimes history tour gets a bad rap, but we have to remember this is the show that Michael saw the most fans. And I've never heard anyone that's actually been to the history tour complain about it. And the second tour leg actually made $83.5 million US dollars in 97 money. I didn't calculate that for inflation. My bad. I rest my case.
Victory Tour had 55 shows, had 2 million people come there, and the box office is in US 75 million, but altogether $185 million in current 2019 money. So, and like I said, Michael did that whole tour for free.
Yeah, what was that? Well, he did it for free. I think they had some type of ticketing scandal or something like that. People couldn't get tickets. I don't know what that was about.
Oh my goodness.
But I think it is cool that Michael did that for free. He donated it to charity or something, right?
Yeah. And a side note on the Victory Tour, it's just kind of cool. Apparently, I'm from Indiana, and the Victory Tour, Michael wasn't going to do that. It wasn't even going to come anywhere near Indiana at all. And there was a boycott that went on here. They stopped playing Michael's music because he wasn't coming, and he heard about it. And so he ended up coming to Chicago because he wasn't with any of the planning or any of that, so they stopped playing his music. And then so he heard about it, and he decided to do the show in Chicago. So it wasn't going to happen. But that's the one my mom got to go see. So that's about as close as I got to him.
That's awesome. That is
all right,
awesome.
you guys.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So, no, it's my bad. So over a span of 69 shows, which is way less than Bad and History Tour and the Jacksons tours, he performed for over 4 million fans, which is almost as many in a much less number of shows. The tour grossed over $100 million. However, which is less than some of the other tours, but he sold the broadcasting rights for another 20 million. So that's a lot of money with the tour right there. like over 120 million total grossing.
Yeah, that's very impressive. I know. Yeah, I always breaking records. Michael Jackson. Anything else?
Yeah, go ahead.
The tour, Triumph Tour, grossed 5.5 million in 1981 cash. That's the equivalent to 16 million today. The average stop itself, the average show, grossed about 150,000 over the span of however many shows there were, which is equivalent now 400,000 per night. That's a big deal. But keep in mind, tickets cost a lot less than Van Halen ticket in 1980 was $8.50. So take that as you will.
Yeah, that's I mean, I think this is really cool, you guys, to hear like how much tickets were sold and how many people got to see Michael and how much money he made too. That was pretty cool.
Right.
Right.
I think some of these tours broke records when they were actually, I think the selling out of the stadiums and all that. He probably broke records with each of these tours. So I think we all brought up some really good points.
Also, guys, I forgot to mention, but I saw this in the chat and I wanted to bring it up as well. All of the money from the Dangerous Tour was donated to various charities, including his very own Heal the World Foundation.
Yes.
Yes. I think that's awesome. Always the charitable, always the humanitarian, the philanthropist. Let's go to the chat, okay? Because I see some really good comments coming up here. Jacob SND says, y'all sleeping on Destiny Tour. And we want to just say, you guys, this was a tough decision, but we wanted to basically cover the tours that we could with the four of us and then include the audience. So Destiny Tour, we definitely think it's awesome. And hopefully we can do another one of these and talk about Destiny. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, Nicholas Stoller. History was the most sold concert from MJ Tours. He also made them more expensive for only $5. He cared about his fans, not the money. But still Triumph Gang, my boy JD.
Yeah, Nicholas Stoller, my boy.
Nick, where you at? I thought we were friends.
I know, right?
Nicholas Stoller.
He's awesome. He also has a channel here on YouTube. Nelson has a good point. He says, imagine him doing Thriller Tour where he had his latest songs from the album, some songs from Off the Wall, and songs from Triumph and Destiny. I could actually see that happening. Don't want to get too much off topic, but I thought that was interesting to bring up. Okay, here's one more person that has voiced their opinion. They actually saw History Tour at Wembley. Nerve says, I saw History Tour at Wembley and I was disappointed with the amount of lip syncing as I took non-MJ loving friends. Bad or Dangerous Tour are my faves.
That sounds like my luck.
Yeah, this is great to hear though, because I think a lot of times those of us who have watched the History Tour on video kind of are like, lip syncing, but it's actually good to, and I always thought, oh, well, if you saw it live, it probably didn't matter. But here it is from the source. Here is someone that actually went. So thank you for sharing your opinion. Let's see. Okay. Jalen says, thank you guys for doing this discussion. It really makes me happy discussing Michael with different people. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, but we got to talk about this. That tour had 123 shows and a whole lot of earnings. Yet the record breaker is the Destiny Tour with 129 shows that generated around 26 million and had the best vocals. I had no idea. Did you guys know that?
No.
I didn't know either. One more comment from the chat, and then we're going to go back to our categories. Let's see. Someone says, this is for you, JD. Triumph. The singing was all real, unlike History and Dangerous. Okay. And
Triumph Gang, going strong. We'll win.
Yeah. All right. Now, speaking of that, let's go into something that we rarely talk about, but I think it's important to talk about some of the other contributors to these tours, because Michael Jackson tours were not just Michael Jackson tours, they also had other people there. So let's talk about the cast and crew. Is there anything notable that you guys want to mention from your tours and who was on them?
Yeah. As I mentioned, sorry, MJ Buzz. You can
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, as I mentioned before, Sita Garrett was there to sing backup, and they did do their iconic I Just Can't Stop Loving You duet, and that was awesome. He just had a really great dynamic with all of the dancers. I don't know who they all are personally, but just watching him on stage with them, their energy was just great. Ricky Lawson was there on the drums, and he actually worked with like so many like notable artists, including MJ, and it was just a really dynamic tour, and he just was so in sync with his dancers and the entire cast and crew. And if you guys watch live in Bucharest, like watch the end. I don't want to spoil because I know we're going to talk about the outro soon, but watching the outro, you could just tell how much he just loved and appreciated all of the people on stage with him. Most of them he named by name, and that is just amazing to me that like Michael Jackson would name each and every person who was on stage helping him, performing backup and musicians and everything.
I believe on the Victory, I could be making this up, but I do believe on one or two of the shows, Eddie Van Halen was actually there to do Beat It. And then I believe I can say that neither one of or anybody else can say on here is that the Jacksons, all of them were on at this show, including Jermaine.
Yeah, that is true. For those of us who enjoy the Jacksons performing together, that was really cool. Jackson 5 Jacksons combined.
Yes.
I'll say for the history tour, you know, you had some really, really awesome musicians and crew there. You had Brad Buxer, who he worked with Michael Jackson. He was a keyboardist and composer. He worked with him on many of the albums, and also he was the music director for several Michael Jackson tours, assisted by Kevin Dorsey, which you guys might know. He has like a deeper voice. He did some background vocals, but also he assistant music directed. We got Jonathan Moffett on drums. If you've ever heard the Jacksons live album, you know that Jonathan Moffett has worked with the Jacksons from a long time ago. I think Shake Your Body Down to the Ground era. And we got Jennifer Batten on guitar. Jennifer Batten was awesome on so many tours, and she was also there. And I think it's cool because you get to see some of the musicians that worked with Michael for so many years, and I think that's part of what contributes to history being a really very polished, on-point show. And also you have some of the musicianship is really cool. Like they're able to like slow things down, for example, to kind of fit. Now I'm not going to speculate on why they slowed some of the songs down, but in the past tours, they were really hyped up energy. History slowed some stuff down, whether that was easier for Michael or whether he just wanted a different groove. I just think about like Billie Jean and how that was slower, but it was like funkier, and you had the background people hyping him up, and they weren't saying go Michael, but they were like, yeah, get it, yeah, and he was doing like this thing. So yeah, I think that's cool. Also on this tour, you had dancers, the choreographer Lavelle Smith Jr., who worked with Michael and Janet, but that's besides the point. Travis Payne was on one of the legs. Stacey Walker, who you guys might have recognized from This Is It, she was warming up the dancers. And also Rich and Tone, they are so amazing. They're the ones with like the really long hair. They're not twins, but they're brothers. And one of them was like 16, and I think the other one was 18 when they were on tour with Michael. Iconic. And then they went on to choreograph You Rock My World. So I just want to mention that History Tour probably has the strongest cast and crew ever. I'm done.
I'll chime in real quick.
Okay.
We had all the brothers doing their respective instruments. We had Michael on vocals, Jackie Jackson on percussion, Tito Jackson on vocals and guitar, Marlon Jackson on vocals and percussion, Randy Jackson on vocals, congas, piano, and keyboards. Wow, good job, Randy. And we had Jonathan Moffett on drums, who, if you're on Michael Jackson Instagram, you probably know all about Jonathan Moffett. Really cool guy. and just a bunch of great musicians that produced such an amazing sound that was good enough for a live album. And so that's always it's always hard to play on a live album, but they managed to stick through it. And I think instrument wise, this has some of the best playing too out of any of Michael's tours.
Yeah, let's I think those are all great points that you guys made. Let's go to the chat and see what people are saying. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say somebody did correct me and say that Jackie wasn't at most of them, but he was supposed to be, and he was at some of them, so I just included him. So
yeah, that's a good point. Jackie was injured or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Jamon Bull, he is the host of the very famous MJ podcast, MJ Cast. He says Jennifer's guitar syncing at times, though.
Is she?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Jamin, get us all on an episode. Get us all on an episode, Jamin.
That is a fact that I did not know if that is true. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, we got to look into that. Someone said, let's see. Okay, Nikki Shaki Mom said, Bad Tour had the best introductions of band members during the Bad song. MJ's little antics with each performer were adorable. I agree. That was really cool. That was when he was like, oh no, I don't remember actually the Bad Tour. I think that's when he was doing the dance with Greg Philliganes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, sorry. Here we go. All right. Okay, Tired of Injustice says, I'll admit a big flaw on Bad Tour's Sheryl Crow. She ruined most songs with her unnecessary belts. Sadly, Mr. Save-A-Buck was also at most of the shows dancing near the end, including Wembley. I'm not sure who you're...
Wade, too.
Oh!
Safe check in Wade.
I was like, who's Save-A-Buck?
I know. I was like, who's Save-A-Buck, too? That's funny.
Right? Okay, interesting.
That's a joke from the channel, I think. That's from History in the Mix. We call him Save-A-Buck instead of Safe Chuck.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Here we go. Jalen said Bad Tour cast really felt like characters, while in Dangerous it was more natural. Plus him and Saida were so awesome, and Jonathan on drums. Travis was on Dangerous too. I'm not sure about that. I have to check, but I think Travis Payne said that he auditioned for the Dangerous tour, and I'm not sure if he made it in. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. But I think he was sharing that, and he was later on some of the other tours, which is awesome. Never give up. Okay. Somebody said, Mr. Brad, what you gonna do, Buxer? For those of you guys that might not know, Brad, Michael called out to Brad on several occasions on tour. Okay. Lauren Marie brings up an excellent point. Lauren Marie, I gotta shout you out. She's one of my first MJ friends ever that I met at a random event in 2003. She says, "Who's your favorite? The Way You Make Me Feel Girl." I don't actually know. This wasn't on all the tours, but do we have
the only one I know is Tatiana. Right?
Yeah. Same.
Was she in the music video?
Don't forget Britney Spears did it once.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I picked Britney too. I picked Britney.
Yeah.
I picked Britney over Tatiana any day.
Yeah, same.
Because she sang too, and that was
true. Sorry, go ahead.
I could be capping, but didn't Sheryl Crow do it once?
I think she did.
Probably.
Tajan said Jennifer is the GOAT, the greatest
Agreed.
of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Bad.
Yeah.
She killed it.
She was awesome. And if you guys want to check her out, she is actually on Instagram and Facebook. She does live chats and events. So you guys should definitely check that out. And we're going to take one more from the chat before we go into some of our closing arguments, because we are going to wrap this up at 8:15. 8:30. It is 8:15 now, so we got about 15 more minutes. Let's go to, okay. I guess this is for the chat. But people in the chat, if you guys want to comment on this. Oh, sorry, I lost the comment. All right, yeah. For the people in the chat that are representing the bad tour, do you guys prefer first leg or second leg? They're so different. I guess we can chime in as well. I prefer the first leg because I like the Jackson songs. But what about you guys?
I would agree with that.
I'm second leg all the way. I want to see Man in the Mirror.
JD, any thoughts?
I say first leg. I want to see. I want to see it be created. I want to see, even if there's a mess up, I want to see it because I want to see what goes into creating the show. I want to see the Michael not being. I want to see all the energy that you have when you first start out a show. So I'm going to go first leg.
Yeah, I agree. Here we go. Let's shout out the Rock 13, aka Randall. You guys have all seen him on my channel before. He says Yuki Sumida as the way you make me feel girl from Dangerous. That's dope. I did not know that. Always spitting some interesting facts here. And okay, let's go to the next category, which is outro, you guys. Anybody want to go first? Who thinks their outro is the strongest?
The Dangerous Tour outro was obviously the strongest. The man flew out above the audience on a jetpack after Man in the Mirror. That's all I gotta say, period.
It was a good stunt double.
Yeah, it was a double. Who cares? Who cares?
He got me on there for years. My mom ruined that for me.
Yeah, I mean, Dangerous. Yeah, that stunt double. And what did he say? He said Michael Jackson has left the stadium, right, or something?
Something like that.
Epic.
Yeah. The Victory Tour, I think, is one of the most iconic for the Moonwalker community exits. And he said, "This will be the last time you see me with my brothers," and he ran off the stage.
That was a big dab.
Right?
Michael Jackson with the dab.
I'm done with you.
I don't have much to say about History Tour outro. I think it was very it was just very chill and relaxed. And I think why not? He was tired. He had already been like doing tours for like 30 years by then. So yeah, I think it was cool, but nothing too crazy. And
well, for me, there's not really footage of Triumph as an outro, really. I mean, if you want to try to look through the potato lens, maybe you could find something. So I'm going off of MJJ community user Michelson, whose dad was there, and he says that Michael would disappear into a cloud of smoke, and then that's supposedly the end of it. The ticket holders would start to leave, and then they'd come out for Working Day and Night or Shake Your Body or something like that, and encore, and everybody would rush back and have a fun time. And even some people from outside were able to rush in and enjoy the whole show. So it was like one more big party thing for the outro.
That's a great point. I just got chills thinking that I could like have maybe not gotten tickets and then run into and see the end. That's amazing. Okay, so let's go into the chat. We have Bia Priya Yoga. She says, outro, Dangerous. Even though we know it was a stuntman, I can't imagine what it felt like to witness this outro. It's an amazing, magical goodbye. Plus, leaving on the iconic Man in the Mirror. Any thoughts?
Exactly.
Oh man, that was awesome. I would never forget that if I saw that.
Let's see. Somebody says, the Victory outro mood. She likes it. There's another vote for Victory outro.
Hey.
Somebody says, Jonathan says, I love History, but his outro was the weakest.
I've seen, like, you know how he has different shows. Some victories, not victories, some histories he ends them differently. Like some of them he just walks off the stage, and some of them he goes under the stage. But I mean, I guess he's still just waving, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking for Triumph. I did have a Triumph comment. We have one from Emily. She says Triumph the singing was all real, unlike History and Dangerous. So just wanted to throw that in there.
Just throw it out there again for Triumph, because we didn't have a good outro, so we'll still talk about the vocal.
Okay, so how about, okay, so, somebody actually is in here, Ian, he enjoyed the History Tour. He said History Tour was the best outro, ending with history and all the world flags, but I think This Is It would have been best if it went ahead, if he was still here. Yeah, let's all remember, you know, that there was to be another tour. So thank you for pointing that out. And also, Mashley actually brought up a good point. He says that I missed the point with the history outro. The ending was about leaving a message of unity and love with the audience rather than making it about himself. That shows the makeup of the man. Thank you for pointing that out. And I think that goes to say how deep Michael Jackson is, because even me as a fan, I didn't really notice that when I saw it. And I think that could be argued as maybe the strongest outro yet in that case, because you're right. Michael Jackson was all about unity and bringing people together, and that was his message. Love was his message. So thank you, Mashley, for bringing that up. Okay, somebody says the Bad Tour. I love the Bad Tour, but at the moment, I love the Triumph album. Every song is great. I never skip a song. They're also groovy and upbeat. Have to give JD that W.
There you go. Same. Give it that dub. I also give it a dub.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to find a really good comment that I saw, but I kind of lost it here. Oh, okay. Here we go. Bad Tour outro. Bad Tour outro. That's what we're talking about, you guys. We have about 8 minutes left in the stream. And in the end, we want to talk about the Bad Tour outro. MJ's PYT says, I love the Bad Tour outro when he brought out all the kids and danced with them.
I love that too. And I think it's cool how a lot of like tributes, when they do songs like that, they still hold that tradition.
Well, Wade and James.
I think that's cool.
Yeah. And yeah, okay, here we go. I'm trying to find anything else. Thank you for the support from Janesta. Great content from you guys. Yay. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm not sure what else to talk about, but we can go into our last closing arguments. If there's anything lastly that you guys want to say to wrap it up, I think we should all solidify our points, and then maybe later on we can get some feedback in the comment section about what you guys thought about our arguments and which tour you thought was the best. So closing arguments, you guys, go for it.
I'll go first.
Okay.
My closing arguments are, when you say the name Michael Jackson, you don't think about a gold suit. You don't think about him flying off in a jetpack. You don't really think about the bow tie era. You think about that glove, you think about that hat and that Billie Jean outfit and that moonwalk, and it's a victory. That's my closing arguments.
Okay. JD, do you want to go? Miranda, do you want me to go?
I just think that it's something to be said that Dangerous was the peak of his career. His discography was made up by that point. Well, most of his legendary songs and performances were already made up by that point. So having that whole discography to choose from, I know it varied from leg to leg, but it was hit after hit after hit after hit. And it was just absolutely incredible. And if there's one tour that I would want to be at, it's the Dangerous tour.
Yeah, I mean, and to go off of that, I will say for me, the tour I would love to be at would be History, because again, this is the only tour where I could see Michael perform songs live from Off the Wall, Bad. Oh, sorry, my bad. Don't take away my card. I did it not in order. Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, Dangerous, History. And if you were there at a specific point in time, you could even see him do Blood on the Dance Floor. Just iconic. again, also, I really stand for that Rocket Man and not Rocket Man. Am I saying the right thing? The spacesuit entry with the roller coaster. Yeah, I mean, I think that's so cool. And I also want to say that I think History Tour was the tour where he got to touch the most fans actually in live, in person. He actually got to see the most people. And I think it was really, really cool that in history, Michael Jackson was able to bounce back from anything else previously that might have threatened to derail his career, but it did not. And then he went and performed the heck out of those songs. He saw 4.5 million fans. He made $258 million adjusted for inflation. So History Tour, I thank you for existing. Thank you, History Tour. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know how to follow that. We got a live album.
True.
I mean, Dangerous and History kind of got live albums too, because it's the exact same thing on the record. Is a jab. No, that's it. We got a live album. It was released. It got great reviews. Thank you. It got great reviews on AllMusic. It got 3.5 stars out of 5. It ranks number 5 as the all-time greatest live album on livealbums.com. I quote music reviewer Bruce Eder, and it says, the album is worth tracking down as an artifact of a simpler, more joyous time in music, as well as the family's history, end quote. And I think that's a very good testament to what the Triumph Tour was.
Perfect. I love the closing arguments, you guys. I think this was a really great debate. It was very healthy and fun discussion, but also we brought the facts. You guys are awesome. I just want to remind everybody who is in here today, just in case you're just joining. Hopefully you saw some of it. But thank you to JD for representing the Triumph Tour. Yay!
Thank you. Stream Who Are You Anymore. Stream Who Are You Anymore. Jason David, Who Are You Anymore. All platforms. Thank you.
He's got a new song out. It's really good, you guys.
Yes, it is.
Right?
I didn't know you could sing, JD, to be honest with you. It shocked me.
Thank you.
I didn't even hear no autotune on there. I'm sure it is, but I barely did.
So
Just when you go on tour, make sure it's live, JD.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I can't lip sync. I've made too much fun of it. I can't do it now.
I feel personally jabbed at History Tour. Okay, MJ Buzz 317. Thank you for representing the Victory Tour.
Hey guys, I'm the newest one. Make sure you guys subscribe and check me out.
Yes, and we got Miranda the Moonwalker representing the Dangerous Tour. Thank you, Miranda.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes, this was fun, guys.
Yeah,
yes.
This was so much fun. Make sure that you go and subscribe to all of our channels. Hold on, let me oh, which tour is the best? Okay, yeah. Which tour is the best? Subscribe to all of us. Leave your comments down below here. This video is going to exist on my YouTube channel here. I'm MJ Fangirl. These are all my awesome MJ fam. You guys have been awesome in the chat. Did they not come up with some great arguments for the bad tour?
Y'all were great.
Yes, everybody was good.
Bad tour wins. Bad tour wins.
You guys are awesome. So
what a shock.
I know, right? I think it was really cool, though, to have the interaction from the audience because it made it like a conversation. So fun times. So people are saying that we should debate some other stuff. So maybe we'll come back. Leave your comments down below. And yeah, I think it's time for us to head on out of here. It's 8:29. Should we get our jetpacks ready or a puff of smoke or what should we do?
Make that change.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Flying over the comment section like.
All right. Just imagine us with epic outros and we will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.